What is up, everybody? My name is Mitch. You're watching Made by Mitch, where I show you the things I make and what I learned making them. Today, I am making a cutting board. This is the first cutting board that I've ever made, and I did learn a lot of things along the way. So I've got my coffee ready to go. Let's get to it. So I actually started this project a long time ago when I had some offcuts of another project I was working on. So I decided just to do a two-in-one type of project. Well, this cutting board got put on the back burner, and finally I brought it back out to finish it up. So the first thing I did was use a table saw to square up both sides of the board, and then I could just cut the board in half and glue them up. Some of this was experimental for me just because I've not really done a lot of this, so it's all new territory. But make sure when you're gluing these up, you get the clamps as tight as you can and use a wet rag to get some of the glue squeeze out. After the glue had dried on both pieces, I used a planer just to plane it down to the thickness that I wanted it. And then I used a table saw to square up both sides. So the next thing I had to do for my cutting board was go all the way around the outside of it with a router. What this does is create kind of a bevel edge, and I used a 1/4 inch round over bit, which looks like this. Now I'm not very experienced with the router. Actually, I've only done it a few times, and so there's still a lot for me to learn. Any tips or comments would be much appreciated. You can put those below on how to use a router. That way, if anyone's watching, maybe they can learn as well. But next time I'll probably use something like an 1/8 inch round over bit, which is a little bit smaller, or like a chamfer bit, which just leaves a solid edge all the way around. But if you make cutting boards out there, what do you like to use for your cutting boards? Maybe next time I'll give it a shot. Using a router is another thing that I'm still getting the hang of, and as you can see here, it's kind of embarrassing, but I wanted to make sure I showed me going the wrong way. And you know, FYI, don't do it the wrong way. It makes it so much harder. And after I used the router on both sides of the board all the way around, I went back with the random orbital sander to clean up all the edges. Okay, we're almost done with the cutting board. The last thing I had to do was just put some kind of finish on it. So what I chose was this Howard's cutting board oil. This was the first time I've used this. If you remember, this is the first time I've made a cutting board. So this is my first time using this, and I have to say that it's been great. It goes on easy, it just wipes on. It's food safe. So check out some Howard's cutting board oil. I'll leave a link in the description. So altogether, this was a great project. One thing I am going to do is put some rubber feet on the bottom of this cutting board. I actually already ordered a pair. I'll put a link below in the description for those. That way it doesn't slide around on the counter. That's one thing I noticed that it did do, is slide around a little bit when I was trying to cut on it. Other than that, this is a great beginner's project. So if you're beginning in woodworking, or if you just like to make stuff, this is a fun one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, but thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next project video.